Hey, this is Milkhouse reporting from New Hampshire, Granite State, and I'm just going over a couple of things I want to touch base on this video. Is what some of my favorite features of Siteworks and what I try to maximize out of this product as a team that provides this out to the working construction crews. And the thing that I think is the greatest part about Siteworks is the fact that we have this insanely complicated GPS technology that is boiled down into this program that really just lets us keep it simple, but also using this insane technology that gets everybody tied in and tied down to the earth and accurately and repeatably, very, very easily. So what used to be a very complicated process with a lot of other programs is really boiled down into just a very simple construction layout that has very, very complicated technology in it. So I'm going to start showing you that. In the time I do this video, I don't even think you could get a laser set up, and I'm going to have a whole house foundation in just a simple square foundation. It could be as complicated as we have from a set of structural drawings or a set of foundation drawings. But for this one, I'm just going to make a nice simple setup. It could be anything though. We can make it as simple or complicated through our COGO, our coordinate geometry editor, as we can. So I'm going to create a new house for me. And when I'm creating my project, I leave it all completely blank when I'm doing this sort of design. Like I said, just simple, getting things set, getting my foundation started, getting the project. If I don't have all of the rest of the, landscaping plan or finished grade plan that I have, I can at least start digging my foundation and using my machines how I need. So I'm just going to finish that. Take my work order. I'm just going to call it site. This is where all my existing conditions or as-built data will be stored. And I don't need a design because I'm going to create it on the fly. So the first thing I'm going to do is connect my base. Oops. Menu, project setup, connect device. So we're going GNSS, we're hitting the base via Bluetooth. I got my R750 out there. I got my base set up on a spike that I set in the ground, and I have my rover set up on a spike that at an elevation that I got from a surveyor in this case. So I'm connecting via radio, connecting to channel 40. I'm at my house. I know there's nobody else using channel 40, so I'm going to skip. My base position when I only have one control point that I need to tie into, or just an arbitrary set, it's pretty much always going to be unknown position until we're established on site, and then it would be control point. I'm going to call this base 1. My Zephyr 3 base is set at 2 meters, 6.562. 6.562, and my elevation mass is just ignoring the low-lying satellites on the horizon, so 10 degrees, that's fine, and we communicate via CMRX. So we get all the use of the advanced satellites, so we can work in the woods, which is really important here in New Hampshire. Another big feature I'm really a big fan of is, for years, my whole career, I had to go set control on a road and carry control in with a total station into the woods to get a shot, and now with this kind of technology, I can go right in, walk right into the woods with my GPS, and even if it's not the best shot, I have a much better idea of where I am on the face of the earth within inches in the trees. So looking for my rover now. It's number 421. Connecting to that. Connect via radio. Channel on the 900 megahertz on channel 40. I'm not using a quick release. I'm not using tilt. Not yet. My rod height's 6.562. That's 2 meters. Okay, and now what I need to do. Normally it'd be a good idea to calibrate the E-bubble, but right now I'm going to skip that. That's just a digital bubble in the receiver. If you can't see the bubble on the rod or you're not using tilt compensation. and I want to calibrate the project now. So my rover is set up on my control point. I'm leveling my rod up right now because I don't have tilt on. Just getting it all squared up. And I'm going to call this point BM 275. That's my elevation. I'll call my northing, keep it a nice square number, 10,000, 10,000, and then this is elevation 275. So I'm going to measure that for 15 seconds. You can see my e-bubble's not calibrated right now. That's okay. I don't typically use it, but it is available if you'd like to use it. Get 27 satellites up here. Okay. And I do want to save my base station location as a control point. That's important to me so I can come back and have 2 points here. So here's the first thing I'm going to do. I use my settings menu. I'm going to turn my point names and point codes on. And then the next thing, I don't want you guys to hear the light bar. It's going to be the beeping like the laser when I get on grade. So the homeowner set a couple grade stakes for us. Set the corner of one house and then the direction she wants it. She didn't have a tape measure to pull it out. So we are going to go shoot those right now. And I'm going to turn my tilt on. So I go to my satellite menu, settings, enable my tilt. That way I don't have to ever look at the e-bubble. Just keeping the tip of the rod in the right spot. We got to move this around a little bit, just let that sensor warm up. That tilt sensor needs movement for it to be able to work. Another great advancement in technology and GPS technology in the past few years has been tilt. Really saves us a lot of time every time we're shooting a point. So I'm going to shoot point 1. I'm going to call it 1000. This is building corner. This is the corner that the homeowner wants us to hold. And I'm going to stake that point out. She gave us a line. I'm just going to keep it in line. I'm going to go 30 feet. So you can see it says go east. I'm right in line with her grade stake that she set. We're going to go out to 30 feet. And we can check this distance when we're done too to make sure it's tight. I didn't want to shoot the stake point. So I'm going to go menu measure. I'm going to measure that point. This is our measured point, 1000. So let's go into Kogo and check that distance. Review and edit. Kogo, another really strong feature of this. Compute distance, we can check things if they're wrong. And who knows, I might be wrong, you know. 30.03, I'm okay with 300ths. We're going to overdig this 4 feet anyways. So now what I want to do, I'm just building a 30 by 30 pad for this particular house. So we're going back to Kogo, coordinate geometry, key in points and arcs. I use my question mark in the upper right to figure out what my menu is. And all I want to do is offset points from line. So actually first I need to create the line. So here's point 1, point 2 that I'm creating. It's going to be a feature line. Point 1, point 2, BLD. And now I'm going to offset those points from my line. Tap the line. And we don't want a point interval, we just want the nodes, the beginning and the end, or any bend points of the line. So line nodes only. Horizontal offset, we want 30 feet. To the right, we'd want negative 30 feet if we want it to the left. No vertical offsets necessary. So now you can see our points. Accept. And these are going to be calc corners, so I'm going to call those 2000 and calc corner. Just so I get my point numbers different, so I know which ones were calced and which ones weren't, in case anyone was wondering. I'm actually going to go ahead and delete this line now, just so I don't have duplicate lines. I like duplicate lines if I can avoid it. Delete the points. And now I'm going to go back to Kogo, and I'm going to draw the rest of the building. Create points and arcs. We're going to create line boundary. It's a feature line. It's building. And I'm going to start at 1000. Oop, I missed. I can always hit the back button if I accidentally missed the point. 2, 3, 4. And to close it out, I hit the little square with the dotted line up top. closes out my circle, or my square. And now I have my square, and I go menu, stake. I'm going to stake my line. Okay, and I'm going to make sure I use the little piece of paper up top, define plane. I want my basements, my bottom foundations at 268. That's what I got to dig to. And there you go. Now I got my cuts and fills. I can go stake my line, and when I put my grade stake in the ground and I hit measure, I can see my diagram. I measure up 1.37, and I have a cut 6 to finish grade. So if I don't have automation in my machine, I can set some offset stakes and put my depth to finish grade in there. Or now, if I'm also ready, I have my thumb drive plugged in. I can just put this right into my machine that I have. So if I have Earthworks available, I can go data management, export to machine, and I just want the design, or excuse me, the measured line work to Earthworks. File name site, hit accept, and we're on the D drive, and my job's on the thumb drive. Now I can plug that in, connect my machine to channel 40, and we will be all set. Thanks for watching my video. I hope you enjoy. I hope you learned something, and like I said, the simplicity is the key factor for Siteworks that makes it available to everybody. We can be out there in a matter of a few phone calls. I can walk somebody through that pretty much every day, and I haven't seen that repeatability and ease of access in other programs. So that's really our main feature, where people up in the Granite State are trying to save money. We sell a lot of 2D systems up here, but we're trying to get those 2D systems to turn 3D, so we can make these people working out in the field even more valuable to their day-to-day, make them even more money, save them even more time. So I hope you enjoy it, and like I said, I hope you learned something, and we'll see you soon.